Today on Perpetual Projects, we are headed to a buddy's house to try and help him get his 84 Crown Victoria running. He's been working on this car for close to 2 weeks trying to get ready for a Gambler 500 event that's in 2 days, and he just can't seem to get it running. Well, I'm telling you, the universe is stacked against this guy. So we leave our house and we live on a pretty quiet little 2-lane road in the backwoods of Alabama and don't really have much excitement. We leave, we're driving there. Within 2 miles of our house, we come up over the top of this little hill and there is a cop. Lights flashing, sirens blaring in our lane, and there is no shoulder or nowhere to go. Fortunately, we were able to get off the road, but it was close. It was an exciting moment that we never have on our little road. That's that. We go down the road, not even a mile later, another car starts coming at us and it's in its lane, but there's a guy with his arm hanging out the window with one of those little orange flags waving everybody off the road. I'm like, what's going on now? So we start to slow down a little bit, and as soon as we get to where we can see the top of the hill, here comes a mobile home, and it's probably 16 feet wide. It's taken all of its lane and half our lane. It can't get over any further, and we don't really have a shoulder on our side. So we dive off to the side of the road and the mobile home goes by and there's a couple cars in front of us and we about have a pile up on our side, and I can't believe the amount of excitement we're having on our little 2-lane road. Just to give you guys reference, if you don't know, the people who pull mobile homes in Alabama, they are crazy. They drive like they stole that mobile home and they have 5 minutes to get it where they need to go or they're gonna get fired. I can't think of anything else that could get crazier on this journey. So we proceed down the road and we pass, it gotta be at least 7 other cops headed to whatever's going on. They must have a calling all cars emergency out there in our little town. And now we're out on the interstate, everything's going pretty good. We got about 10 miles left, and hopefully when we get there, we can get this car running. But first, Chucky had an even more exciting night last night. That's right, it's Chucky from Chucky's Garage, and we'll have him tell you the story because I can't do it justice of the night that he had last night searching for parts to get this car running. Okay, so what happened last night?
Well, the thing about it is, so I needed one little fitting that was something in regard to that. It don't matter what it is. So I proceed to go to O'Reilly's. I get to O'Reilly's, and there's old dude there. Him and his girlfriend are arguing, and she's talking about having big lips on her face because she got some kind of shot, make her lips big. I don't know. I just said, look, man, I need this fitting. Man, they should be over there. He didn't have a clue. So, all right, I proceed to go to Advanced. I go to Advanced, and they don't have it either. They're just sitting there just shooting the breeze, talking, and they have no idea. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go to Lowe's, and I'm going to get some pipe thread, just a piece of pipe, little 1/8 MPT pipe, put in the back of it. I'll put the line over it. Go there, they got 1/4 inch. Nothing 1/8.
So, what you were looking for, just like a barb fitting?
Just a barb fitting. So something like that has a screw end on the other end. Just something just simple like a fuel line, and it was just frustrating. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make one. That's what I was thinking.
All right.
So then I call my buddy John. Hey man, you got one? Man, go to Tractor Supply. They'll have it. Okay, I go to Tractor Supply. They had corn feed, but you know, they didn't have no fittings.
Okay.
So then I'm proceeding headed to John, and I'm just cruising on along, and all of a sudden there's blue lights. I'm going 50 to 35. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. This is gonna make this week even better. So the lady walks up, pretty lady, walks up to the window, and I'm like, dang, has anybody ever asked you to handcuff them? And she just starts dying laughing. And I saw it on TikTok, that's why I did it. And she's like, look, you're just getting a warning because my boss makes me do 2 stops an hour. I was like, okay, that sounds great. And so then I proceeded to go to John's house and get a fitting that I ended up not needing at all in general.
So all this to find a fitting?
All this to find one fitting.
Wait, hold on. What was the most important lesson you learned last night?
So, I sent my wife a video or picture of blue lights in my rearview mirror. And then as I drive away, I proceed to get back on live with Square Body and Chad and Travis. Well, my wife's calling. Well, I just keep ignoring it because, you know, I'm talking on YouTube Live. She then proceeds to call the jail to make sure I'm not in jail. And then keeps calling. Well, I go to John's house and I ain't got no phone service. So by the time I'm driving home, I get back on live. She calls again. I'm like, dang, it's 11 o'clock. I better answer the phone. When I answer the phone, she goes, where are you at? I'm like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. So she's like, I thought you were in jail. I thought you were upside down in a ditch. So yeah, I had to come home, which this is all on live, by the way. I had to come home, give her a Diet Dr. Pepper, pat her on the back, tell her she's A-okay. But she just worries really bad about me. And then I go to a truck stop, and I have a lot lizard, if y'all know what that is. Well, it's a woman that works. And she proceeds to ask me if I have $20 that she could work for. And if she'd have had a 1/4-inch nipple fit, and I would probably would have given it to her.
So now I guess we're going to see if we can figure out how to make this little, it's a 302, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a Ford guy, so he said I know what I'm doing, but I don't know that I know what I'm doing. We're just going to try to fumble through this and see if we can make this thing run.
I fumbled through it. I can't make it run.
Well, we got it running, and unfortunately, we discovered another problem. Challenge. So it for some reason it is making a lot of steam out of the valve cover, both on the breather over here where the oil fill is, and out of the PCV, or it's not really a PCV valve, but the breather on the other valve cover is just solid stream of steam. We also have steam coming out of, or condensation coming out of the tailpipe that's on the left-hand bank. So we're suspecting, and we're actually hoping for a bad head gasket, because we're gonna tear the heads off this thing, or the head off this thing anyway, and try to get this thing put back together so Chucky can make his Gambler. We'll keep you guys updated. All right, Chucky, tell them what we found.
Loaded head gaskets. Just one of them, though, I think, possibly. What do you think? I think
well,
just one.
Nothing is terrible. It's not as bad as we were expecting, but it's bad enough that we're hoping that we're gonna. We already got this head cleaned up, got all the stuff scraped off it, checked it, it's flat. So we're gonna get this head cleaned up, make sure it's flat, and then put it back together.
All right, several hours later, it runs. So show us what else you have to do to this car in the next 2 days.
So I'm gonna put this bumper on. It's gonna be something like, yay. It's gonna have my 10,000 pound winch in there. I gotta put the roof rack on top of the car. I gotta do that. Then I gotta put the mini-spool, which is here. Put these in the rear end, and that should be all I gotta do. That just seems like a little bit, but you know, 2 days it probably could happen.
At this point, it's more like 1 day too.
It is more like 1 day because it is like 3:45 in the afternoon. But yeah, now that it's running, thanks to Travis, because I did nothing to fix it. I just watched, held the flashlight.
At least he didn't yell at you.
Yeah.
Leave it there.
Hold the light.
So if you want to see how he does in the Gambler, see if he makes it, and see what he does with this car, crazy things off-road, I'm going to tell you. You have to go over to Chucky's Garage. We'll leave a link in the description to his channel. You have to go check him out, subscribe, turn notifications on, so that you can see how this goes or doesn't go with the Gambler 500. See you soon.